Stop for a moment. Before you scroll further, before you check messages, before you move toward anything else, pause here. Something is happening spiritually in your life right now that cannot be ignored. This is not anxiety without cause. This is not ordinary exhaustion. Your spirit has been detecting a real movement in the background of your reality, a shift that is about to manifest in ways you cannot yet fully see, but are already beginning to feel. You have been carrying a tiredness that sleep does not fix. The kind of exhaustion that goes beyond the physical. The exhaustion of trying to force open doors that were closed for your protection, of explaining your heart to people committed to misunderstanding you, of pouring energy into situations that were never yours to carry. You thought you were being faithful and persistent, and you were, but faithfulness to the wrong things drains in the same way that faithfulness to the right things builds. Here is what heaven wants you to understand right now. Your silence in this season is not defeat. It is wisdom. There is a profound truth about spiritual warfare that most people never fully grasp. When you speak from exhaustion, from anger, from accumulated frustration, you reveal the map of your pain. You offer the enemy information, where it hurts, what depletes you, what still moves you emotionally. But when you go quiet, when you stop reacting, when you withdraw your fuel from the chaos around you, something changes. You become invisible to the forces that depended on your reaction to orient themselves. Exodus 14 verse 14 says the Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. That instruction was not given as consolation for the weak. It was given as strategy for those who understood that some battles are not won with words, but with positioning. Staying quiet when everything inside you wants to defend itself is one of the most powerful forms of obedience that exists. You stopped defending yourself, and the moment you stepped out of the ring, something greater stepped in to fight for your future. If this message is touching something real in your spirit, there is a link in the description to support this project. Give only if you feel peace in your heart. Every contribution helps these words continue reaching the people who need them. The isolation you experienced in this season was not punishment. It was protection. People walked away without explanation. Situations closed without warning. Connections simply lost their strength and disappeared. And you spent a great deal of time trying to understand what you did wrong. It was not you. It was divine separation. You carry a frequency that cannot coexist indefinitely with energies that drain, confuse, and diminish. What looked like abandonment was heaven clearing your field, creating space, removing what could not travel with you to the next level. You survived the wilderness season. You did not break when everything pressed you to break. And now you are standing at the edge of something that will require exactly what that season built inside you. Something needs to be said directly here, because this is where many people stop just before the turning point. You have been asking God for miracles, for open doors, for concrete change. And at the same time, you have been operating as though the outcome has already been decided against you. You have been shrinking your light to make others comfortable. You have been apologizing for your gifts. You have been trying to domesticate what was given to you precisely to remain untamed. The most powerful obstacle in your life right now is not standing outside your door. It is a silent agreement you made with yourself, an agreement that says you are an ordinary person struggling to survive, that what was promised to you is for other people, that your past suffering proves suffering is your natural state. That agreement ends today. Your genuine heart was never the ceiling of your life. It was the foundation. The pain you walked through was not wasted. It was the process of forging something inside you that cannot be forged any other way. Compassion that comes from having truly suffered. Discernment that comes from having been betrayed and learning to distinguish. Strength that comes from continuing when every argument said to stop. You gave what was purest in you to people who did not have the capacity to receive it. You did not fail in those relationships. You survived them. And the cycle of making yourself smaller to fit into spaces too small for you ends here. Heaven is shifting your spiritual status from hidden to active. Every tear shed in secret was seen and counted. Your consistent quietness has terrified what was assigned against your bloodline. You proved you could choose light while surrounded by darkness. That rare obedience is exactly what qualifies you for what is approaching. There is something practical that needs to be said before this message closes, because honesty demands it. The spiritual acceleration that is coming will require you to stop treating preparation as an endless process. Heaven does not wait for you to feel completely ready. It waits for your yes to the mission. Readiness does not come before the step. It is revealed by the step. You are crossing a threshold, and you cannot cross it carrying the weight of who you were before all of this. The identity built to survive difficult seasons did its work, but survival and harvest are different states. It is time to set down the heavy armor of exhaustion and receive what has been prepared for you. The link in the pinned comment is there for anyone who feels moved to support this work. Whatever you are able to give, given freely, keeps this mission alive and reaching more lives. You made it here. You walked through the darkest valleys with a broken heart and kept going anyway. Consider what becomes possible now that you are awake to who you actually are. The waiting season has ended. What was being prepared for you behind the scenes is about to manifest. Not in some distant future. In the days ahead, in ways that will surprise you, in abundance that will astonish you, in a freedom that will feel like a home you have been waiting your whole life to reach. You are the plan. You always were. And what looked like delay was simply the time needed for everything around you to align with who you had become on the inside. The moment is here. Receive it.